Rock and roll. All right, party time.
Godzilla says that I should learn to fight my own battles. No.
Hello, cadets. Welcome to a special edition of the Big Monster Briefing Room. We are going to tackle a really weird one tonight. This time. That's what I meant to say. Use Mr. Lips and Mr. Tongue. Let me bring out my able-bodied assistants, Major Hazzard and Major Sargeant Major Havoc.
We are here.
I love the fact that in the opening, you can actually you have that clip of the snake woman biting the boy's penis underneath the camera. You don't see it, but you can hear it. You can hear the when the fangs go into the pee-pee.
Yeah.
I'm glad they edited it that way.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite training films because it's got that big giant snake worm thingy. You know, that's what.
Is it a worm? Is it a snake?
Is it a worm? Yeah. So is it a giant penis? We don't know.
Still a mystery.
Yep.
So, and this movie that this training film that we're about to do is a mystery as well. Hazzard, are you on assignment?
Sure is a mystery.
I'm on assignment, and you know, your noises started early. I'm sure the cadets are very excited. You had a lot of noises, and I didn't know that you called your mouth, what is it, Mr. Tongue, Mr. Lips? I'm just confused, you know. I didn't know that your lips actually.
You got to use Mr. Lips and Mr. Tongue. Actually, a friend of mine, Karen White, used to say that, and I just thought that was hysterical. I thought it was very funny. Because, you know, you're telling yourself, you know, you're an idiot because you can't even talk straight.
Oh, I got it. I just didn't know because, you know, a lot of people do like, you know, name the members of their body. And, you know, I thought that was interesting. I didn't know if there were other titles that you used for your body, but we can move along.
Well, the only sound that I made that I know of was the sound of two snake woman fangs going into a pee-pee.
No, when you first started, when you were alone on screen, the reason you said Mr. Lips and Mr. Tongue was because you were doing a lot of, you know, there was a lot of noise.
Oh, you're talking when
yes,
when I do that, when I flub, when I can't get a line out.
The cadets
I start talking Japanese.
You do sound very Japanese. It's absolutely amazing. But here's the thing. Okay, so we have the Phantasm.
I really think so.
We have Phantasm. We can get started then. You know,
it's an Avco Embassy release. I believe that's the same company that did the first one that Havoc did with us, the Food of the Gods. I think they did the same. That's the same company.
Yep.
They did some really cheap, low-budget horror films. But this one was actually so different, so weird that, everybody talked about it. There was like 500 sequels. All starring Angus Scrimm as the tall man.
Yep.
Boy.
Is something
and there
else.
it is. Yep. That's the place. That's the mortuary house where all the action takes place. And then we scroll over to the graveyard next door, and somebody is doing the nasty. Somebody's doing the nasty out in the graveyard.
Yep.
Now this
I
character,
think
this
the
female
term is Fikiwaka.
Fikiwaka. That was also Karen White who used to say that. We're talking about her a lot this show.
We got to get Karen. Whatever happened to Karen? Where's Karen? How come we don't fraternize with
I
Karen?
think she got married and lived happily ever after.
She's very happy. That's good. Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
So,
Wherever you
there
are,
it
Karen.
is. She doesn't have to deal with monsters and the likes of me anymore.
She doesn't have to grapple with all the monsters and all that. Yeah, it's better for you, Karen.
Yeah,
So,
speaking of grappling,
yeah. Well, that is that character, that girl, the blonde, and I had to be very careful which shot I screenshot there because there's some nudity. That and again, you can see it's really the tall man, but the beautiful character is called Lavender. She always wears the same lavender dress, and she kills that guy in the graveyard while they're doing the Fiki Waka.
That's really some bad etiquette there. She's not going to find a husband doing that.
Well, she's not going to keep one.
yeah,
I mean, maybe in the basement, but
it's a black widow scenario. I feel like there's a better way to treat a man, but
well, yeah, there you go.
Well, there's a kink for every taste, so.
What kind of kinks are you?
Did you just stab me with a dagger?
What kind of
baby.
What kind of kinks are you into, Sargeant? This is just for like research purposes. I don't really care, personally. But
we ain't got time for that.
Okay. Just whenever you're comfortable, because the cadets want to know. It's just the cadets who want to know. It's just what I'm saying.
Well, let's just say there's
lately.
Let's move along. Let's
You're
move
kind
along.
of flirting with Havoc there. I'm starting
no,
to wonder.
no, nothing like that. I'm all professional.
That's
I mean,
right.
very manly. I get it. He's an alpha.
Yep. Let's just say there's some feathers involved, and we'll just leave it at that for now.
He likes giant chickens.
General,
let's just move along.
Can't give all my secrets away.
It was all that Fiki Waka that got me.
Maybe I should have just left it. The previous statement. I'm sorry. So yeah,
moving on.
At the beginning,
moving along.
At the beginning, in the mortuary again, and it's the next morning, I guess, or the morning of the funeral of the guy that got killed with the dagger out in the graveyard. I can't remember the guy's name. I think it was Chris. Anyway, he was part of a band that these two guys were in. Can we go back one slide? And that's Mike, who is visiting his grave of his parents, and the guy that he was talking to earlier with the ponytail is Reggie, played by actor Reggie Bannister, who's been in all these films, all of these Phantasm films. On the motorcycle, riding disrespectfully through the graveyard, is Mikey. I'm sorry, did I say the other guy's name was Mike? It's Jody. I'm sorry. The other guy's Jody. This is Mikey. Mike. The young boy. And he sees a little Jawa go by. That's what they are. They're Jawas. This was in 1979, 1977 with Star Wars. They did Jawas. Guys dressed in these cloaks, these dark cloaks like that. And they were little midgets. So this is the tall man telling Jody it's time for the funeral. Look at that face. A face that only a mother could love.
There you go. I was gonna ask you to do that. Thank you.
I got it in this time.
You got it right in there, General. Right in there.
So yeah, they have a nice little funeral hall there. Very, very look at that handlebar mustache. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked.
You're a mustache man, ain't
I hear
you?
banjo music.
You're a mustache man. I can see that.
So in any case, for some unknown reason, Mike is not at the funeral. He's watching through binoculars in the bushes close by.
Well, that's normal behavior for a teenage boy. That seems perfectly normal to me.
Now, actually, I think Jody said he didn't want him to come to the funeral. He didn't want to see their friend like this. So yeah, he follows Jody. Okay. He respects Jody. He looks up to Jody. Jody is his hero. So he follows him everywhere. And the kid must be like the Flash because Jody's riding around in a car and the kid is like running after him. And he gets to places where Jody is at, and spies on him. Like this bar or the bar that we were at a minute ago. In any case, So here is Mikey going to an old lady who's a fortune teller, and her daughter and her have these little stars on their faces for no apparent reason. And they kind of play a joke on him with a box where he has to put his hand in the box, and the box latches onto his hand, and they're like, "Don't be afraid, don't be afraid, and you'll get your hand back." And he gets his hand back, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well, thanks a lot." And he walks out, and they're like, snickering to each other. This is a friend who only shows up in this scene in this movie, and to get some exposition out. Mike is working on the car. Jody is talking about, how, he might leave, and he might put Mike in school or something, and Mikey doesn't like that idea. He wants to go wherever Jody goes. Again, he looks up to him. And then he's on his motorcycle running through the graveyard again. He sees the tall man, and then all of a sudden his motorcycle flips him off. He falls off his motorcycle. The tall man can do that, evidently. Just look at your wrong, and then your motorcycle messes up. Oh, there's the box that his hand is stuck in. I'm sorry, he was telling the ladies all of this backstory. That's what it was. And again, that's where the grandmother's snickering and laughing. He's such a stupid boy. So this is the only scene where we see Jody playing guitar and wearing a stupid hat. But Reggie shows up, and he's got his guitar case in his ice cream truck. That's how he gets around. Chicks love it, by the way. If you drive around in an ice cream truck. And they play. And he has a tuning fork that he uses. Now, the reason that they have this shot is because it's an important shot for later in the film. And there's the mortuary again. And inside the mortuary, there is a black door to a secret room. And this one girl goes in there to pay respects. She sees the black door. She goes, opens it, and she gets pulled in and disappears. Because it's a weird movie. Where stuff happens for no apparent reason. Jody comes home.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the next slide.
Oh, I thought you'd frozen there for a minute.
No. Jody comes home.
We're at the cantina. Oh
no, that's the bar, yeah. And somehow Mike gets there and is watching him, and it's the girl in lavender. It's lavender. So he could get killed. she has a thing about stabbing guys with a dagger.
She gets all stabby.
See, when the tall man gets dressed up, he looks pretty presentable.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, she takes him out to the graveyard. Yeah, I like to do in the graveyard. Actually, she doesn't talk because she just kind of lures them, without talking,
But if she did talk, that's exactly how her voice would sound.
She would say, "Boy."
Sure, your name ain't Lola.
So yeah, they're getting it on, and Mike is watching because that's what little kids do.
It's a teenage boy.
He's a teenage boy. He's going through puberty, and then the Jawas start showing up and running around, and he freaks out. And then Mike is like, "Oh, come on," or Jody's like, "Oh, come on, Mike, you screwed up." I swear to you, they were out there. They had claws, and they were in the cloaks. They're out there. So he goes back, and she's gone. She's gone. Ruined the mood. I'm taking my dagger, and I'm going home. Boy.
That's what he said.
So, yeah. So Mike is in bed. And he has a dream. And the tall man is over his bed, and he gets pulled out of his bed. And he wakes up. And he's in town. He's walking in town. I guess he's following Jody. That's my guess. That's what he always does. And he sees the tall man clumping a truck. Now, the tall man, as he's walking across the street, he sounds like a Clydesdale here. Get the dump, get the dump, get the dump, get the dump. It's like he's walking in slow motion, and Mike is watching him. And he comes by in slow motion again behind Reggie and his ice cream truck. And Reggie opens the ice cream truck up as the tall man stops behind him. And the tall man, I don't know, he kind of pulls a Joe Biden. He's just like, that's him. He's kind of sniffing the ice cream air. And the kid's like, damn, that's creepy.
Is that Neapolitan? Mm.
It's a little disturbing, I'll be honest with you.
I love the smell of vanilla in the morning.
It's out there. As scenes go, it's pretty out there. It's like, what the hell did I just watch? I can't even see this slide. Some of these are dark.
Somebody's working. I think Mikey's working under the truck.
Oh, okay. He's working under the car. He's working under Jody's car, and the little creepy guys are scampering around his garage, and they knock the car off the what do they call those, hitch? Oh, and yeah. He almost gets squashed under the car. You know how he doesn't get squashed, I don't know. You know, it doesn't make any sense. But and he seems to be pinned under there, and he sees shoes, and it's Mike. You know, and he hits Mike on the shoe with a hammer. Becomes a Three Stooges movie all of a sudden. Why I oughta.
Why I oughta.
And he crawls out from under the car again. He's not pinned. How? I don't know. He should be. He's a kid. He's got a kid's body, I guess. So, you know, yeah, they're going back and forth and talking, and he's trying to tell Mike about stuff that's happened. The hell?
Somebody's got a knife.
Oh, that's right. He gets ready and he goes. He's got a knife. He's going to go to the mortuary to find out what the hell's going on. Because Jody is not convinced yet that there's creepy goings on in the mortuary area there. So Mikey jumps the fence to go to the mortuary, breaking and entering. He goes to a lot of pictures of this. And they all look the same. So he breaks in a window downstairs. The old I'm going to go in through the basement routine. We see that a lot in these films. And nice creepy lighting. And there is a caretaker for this scene only. There is a caretaker who...
Al Bundy before he got the job at the...
you know.
It's Al Bundy.
You think it's Ed O'Neill?
No, it just looks like Al Bundy. Looks like.
Okay. So he's looking around the halls, and he finds the black door.
Which used to be red.
And it's got some carving, some sculpture over the top of it. Yeah. So he's like, maybe I'll open this door. You got to get through that door. And something is whizzing around in the hallway. Looks like a silver ball. So Mikey hits the deck. The ball misses him. It's just floating through the air at high speed. And that's when Mikey gets grabbed by the caretaker guy. And the ball comes back around, and there's a little spiky thing coming out of it, and it catches the guy, the caretaker, right in the forehead. And then a drill comes out, a drill bit, and starts drilling him right between the eyes, right in his head. And it's like an intravenous drill because it allows the it allows the blood to spew forth. Now, he is looking back and forth with this blood coming out of his head. Now, I'm sorry, but yes, head wounds do bleed a lot, but not like that. There should be gray matter coming out of there. If it got into his skull, there should be more gray matter than blood. Now, if you look down at the kid, Mike, he has no blood on him whatsoever. Now, this guy was back and forth, blood everywhere, supposedly, right? You would think.
It should look like a scene out of
spotless.
Yeah, it should look like a scene out of Dexter.
Exactly. And the kid has no blood on him whatsoever. He's hidden around a corner. That's what it is. But look at the floor. There's no red on that floor at all, and it's next to the guy's feet. And look behind him. There's no red on the floor. There's no blood anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let you film in our mortuary at night, but you can't get anything on the floor.
We're on.
All right.
No blood on the wall.
Blood. Nothing we got to clean up. Okay. So the tall man comes out and he goes after Mike. Spotless. The hall looks like it's just been dusted and waxed. Mikey runs out through the coffin showroom. Tall man's coming after him. He runs down to the basement and closes the door, and he's closed the door on the tall man's hand. And the tall man's hand is he's thumping all over the place. And he cuts his fingers. Why? He's got a knife.
He's got a knife.
He's a juvenile delinquent. He's got a knife. Why not? I'm going to cut this guy's fingers off. Show him a lesson. Don't chase after me. And yellow stuff comes out of his fingers like formaldehyde. Formaldehyde. Right?
Yep. Formaldehyde.
And the fingers are moving like a chicken with its head cut off. The fingers are moving all over the ground there. So he grabs one, puts it in his shirt pocket, and runs. Gets out of that window and runs home.
Because when you're studying to be a serial killer, apparently, you got to take a souvenir.
That's it. We have the makings of a young serial killer here, don't we?
Exactly. Yeah.
And considering what this kid went through in the other films, I think you're right. I think this is all just weird stuff that he's made up in his mind, and he's just a killer. Anyway, It could be. Could very well be. Okay, so he gets out. Even though the Jawas have tried to grab onto his feet, he gets out. And he puts the finger in a box, and he shows it to Jody. This is his proof to Jody. And Jody is looking down at the finger going, okay, the old finger in the box trick. The finger's still moving. It's got the formaldehyde stuff around, and it's like itching at the bottom of the box. So anyway, he goes upstairs. He puts the box on his desk there, and the finger turns into a giant evil fly. And this is why I called you in for this one, Havoc, because it's a giant insect,
giant critter. Yep.
I mean, not like a giant, but it's big. It's bigger than a regular housefly. That's for sure. It's as big as your hand.
Yeah, and it looks pissed off. It ain't happy.
It looks like something. I can't put my finger on it, but it looks like something.
Tell him to call you Billy.
So yeah, it's getting in his hair. He's grabbing it with his coat. He's banging it all around the staircase. Luckily, it doesn't fall down the staircase. Jody helps him. They take it downstairs to the kitchen to the disposal, and they try to kill it. And that's when Reggie shows up. Hey guys, how you doing? What's going on?
Oh, just trying to get rid of a giant evil fly. No, nothing to see here, buddy.
Exactly. That's how this whole scene plays.
Yeah.
So it's really weird that he shows up like that. He's trying to act normal, and he's watching them trying to shove something down the disposal and kill it. And He looks down after they've finished, supposedly, and the fly comes back up. One of those. Yeah. So they grab it again, put it down the disposal again, and this time, evidently, they kill it. And Reggie's like, what the?
What in the flippity flop was that?
Oh, flippity flop. Teenagers make fun of old people that talk like that.
Yep.
You said flippity flop. Well, you can say fudge instead. What the fudge? That was my attempt at doing Eugene Levy in one of those movies that he was in. He was with, of all people, Samuel L. Jackson. He was telling him not to cuss. You know you shouldn't cuss. Not a training film, though. Okay. So now Jody goes into the mortuary. He's like, okay, it's time for me to go. You stay home, kid. And he gets in there, and all the Jawas like attack him the minute he gets into the basement. So he gets out, and then the tall man chases after him in the mortuary. What do they call the cars? The hearses.
The hearse.
The hearse.
Yep.
Yeah, hearse rent-a-car. And then he turns around, and the other car comes up, and it's Mike. Mike is driving, even though he's underage. He's like, "Get in!"
He probably doesn't have a license.
Nope, I don't think so.
See, chops off a man's finger. He's driving without a license. This kid's a delinquent.
He's got a rap sheet a mile long now already.
Yep.
And we're only halfway through the movie. Not even. So,
Breaking and entering.
So the hearse is coming after him, and this car, I didn't know it has a roof, a sunroof, but evidently it does, because Jody is able to get up with his shotgun and shoot at the hearse, the rental hearse.
Yeah.
Like that. Blam. And yeah. So again, these juvenile delinquents out having a good time.
Yep.
I'm clueless.
There's a car. Oh, the Jody's car pulls up to the hearse, and they're looking inside with a shotgun. They open the door.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It hits a tree, and a big tree branch goes through one of the little Jawas is driving. How its feet reach the pedals, I don't know, but one of the little Jawas is driving. Yeah. And they pull the veil back on the Jawa's head, and it's their friend that was killed at the very beginning of the film, doing the Ficky walk out with Lavender, who was just buried. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh, by the way, I missed a part. I forgot to tell you. And that is when Mike was watching through the binoculars the ceremony, everybody left, and the tall man picked up the guy's casket all by himself. It's like a 500-pound casket, and put it back in the hearse. So they didn't bury him. He took the hearse back. He took the body back to the mortuary.
That's right.
And Mikey's been telling everybody that throughout the movie, and they're like, "What? He picked it up by himself? No way!"
Yeah.
So okay, so Jody calls Reggie and says, "You need to bring your ice cream truck because our friend Chris, well, whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. He's a zombie now. He's a little half-pint zombie monster guy, and he's dead." So he's like, "What the fudge? What the flippity flop?" So they take Mike to an antique store where he'll be safe, quote unquote, and he's looking at some vintage photography, and he sees a picture of the tall man from like the 1800s as on top of one of those old horse carriage hearses with the top hat and everything. There he is. And the picture comes to life like in Harry Potter, and he looks at the kid.
Mm.
Boy!
That's a...
Earth.
Oh.
So that's why I like to have Havoc on. We get to hear his dog whine. I like that. That's cute. Feed me.
I'm sorry about that.
So Jody goes back to the mortuary again. And the tall man comes out.
Excuse me for a minute. I have to do something, but you go on.
Don't kill the dog. So Reggie is in his ice cream truck, right, with the two girls, or is that might be Mike? No, it's Mike. Mike is in the car with two girls, two local girls, and they come upon Reggie's ice cream truck. It's flipped on its side. So obviously the thing in the back wasn't dead. It's gone when they open it up. There's some formaldehyde blood in the bottom there, which must smell great. And Reggie was concerned about the smell in the back of his, the back of his ice cream truck. So, yeah. So Jody is sitting at home now, and Mike comes in. And again, at this point, we're not sure what reality is and what isn't, real. What is a dream? What isn't a dream? We're getting these kind of weird kind of scenes that make you go, what the flippity flop? What the fudge?
And then we're attacked by a giant cat.
And there's a giant cat. Again, always so fun to have you on the show because we get to see wild animals.
There it is again.
We get to hear wild animals. I half expect to hear.
And again, we get back to the kinky stuff, but let's just move on.
Jody's going to take action again, and he wants Mike to be safe, so he locks him in his room. He puts a screwdriver in the door to keep him from opening the door. But the kid's pretty resourceful. He takes a shotgun shell that he just happens to have. He's like MacGyver, this kid. He takes a shotgun shell, he puts it on the end of a hammer with a tack in the back, and he uses it as an explosive device, which actually very clever. He blows a hole in the door. He's able to get his hand out. He's able to pull the screwdriver out. He gets free. And as we know, the kid is faster than the Flash. So even though Jody has left in a car, this kid's going to probably catch up to him somehow. It's like the turtle at this, and slow and steady wins the race. But he opens the door, and the tall man is there. Boy!
It's like, look what you did to my
Grabs
fingers.
him by the scruff of the neck. You're coming with me, boy. And he throws him in the back of the hearse, which evidently has repaired itself. It's like Christine. Or maybe he's got more than one hearse. That could be. I mean, a good mortuary house would probably have a backup hearse.
Yep.
That's my guess. So the kid, again, being resourceful as he is, shoots out the back window. He's got a gun. He's got a gun on him. Shoots out the back window and then shoots the tire through the side of the car. Really good shot. Jumps out the back window. Not a scratch on him. This kid knows how to roll, man. And the hearse runs into a giant telephone pole and blows up with the tall man in it. So great, we got rid of the tall man, right?
Or do we?
So, I don't know what's on the left, but obviously Mike goes back to the mortuary, and the ball comes back out again. And Jody steps out with a shotgun and blows the hell out of it. And it explodes. It doesn't ping, ping, ping like a ping, not ping pong. what the hell?
Pinball.
Pinball, like a pinball ball.
Yeah.
But and then Reggie shows up. Hey guys, I'm not dead. That's basically the line. He just shows up like, hey guys, I'm still here. And that's what Reggie does in these. He shows up at the most inopportune times and goes, hey guys, what's going on?
It's just so random.
Wow, you guys are in the mortuary again. So am I.
Wow.
So they finally get to the black door and they open the door and there's these bunch of these little they look like the zombie case at the beginning of Return of the Living Dead.
There's just these barrels.
The
black barrels,
the little half-pint barrels,
containers.
and in them are the dead bodies of people turned into zombies. Turned into those little Jawa zombies.
Jawa zombies.
Yeah. Somehow the process shrinks them down to about 3 feet 5 or 3 feet. And yeah. So and at the other end of the hall, or in this room, are 2 large metal poles stuck up there. Just shooting straight up toward the sky. Again, about 3 feet off the ground, 3.5 feet maybe. And while Jody is checking out the barrels, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's the dead people turning into zombies, dude." And no, he's not from California. I'm sorry. Mike decides to put his hand into between the 2 poles, and it goes away. It like has disappeared, and he pulls it back out, pulls it back in, pulls it back out, and then he gets pulled in, or he falls in, and the front half of his body goes into another dimension, another planet, where these Jawa guys are taking these barrels, and these dead bodies are made into slaves for them. They're slaves in another planet, another dimension. So Reggie and Jody pull him back by the scruff of his pants. And so now they know that that's a doorway to another dimension, and then the lights go out. And when he puts his lighter up to turn it on, there's a Jawa there. And you hear, in the darkness, you hear a bunch of scruffling around. And when the lights come up, Giant Cat, Jody and Reggie are gone. I'm sorry. Jody and Mike are gone. And Reggie is left with the 2 poles. And he looks at the poles and he's like,
should I?
What can I do with this? And he harkens back to when he was playing guitar. Woo!
See?
And, hey, it works off of vibrations, doesn't it? Just like that tuning fork. So you have this elaborate scene where he keeps putting his hands close and pulling them back. And should I? And he puts his hands on both of the poles and stops the vibrations, and hence starts a chain reaction that causes everything to start flying into the portal. So Jody and Mike head out of the mortuary. Yeah. Negative and positive. Positive, negative. That's the best picture of Reggie Bannister you're ever going to see. Anyway, so yeah, he's on the floor. He's hoping not to be sucked into the vortex, into the other dimension. He manages to get to the door and pull himself out. An amazing feat, because stuff is just flying by him. Those barrels are just flying by him into the other dimension. So again, he's able to pull himself out. The door didn't go into the other dimension. Luckily, he had something to hold on to. And then when he gets outside, the lady in lavender is there. And she's doing her thing. Ooh, help me. Ooh. And then she stabs him with her dagger. Of course. That's her thing.
That's what she does.
Stabs him real good in the stomach. Reggie, by the way, has survived a lot in these movies. He's really survived a lot. Yep. So Jody and Mike are like, Reggie, where are you? Mike, where are you? Jody! They're calling back and forth to each other. There's wind blowing around all over the place. Something's happening. They don't realize that Reggie has closed the doorway, the portal, and everything's being sucked into it. And we get, again, another shot of the girl's face and then the tall man's face looking exactly the same. And he takes the knife out of Reggie.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's when it really hurts, is not when it goes in, but when it comes out. Yeah. So the house turns yellow, the mortuary, and then turns red and then disappears. It's gone to the other dimension, I guess. That's what we can assume. So they go home. Jody and Mike. We'll just leave dead Reggie out in the front. So, okay, let's stop for a second here. I've got some explaining to do. All right. One of the things that comes across Mike and Jody's mind is their parents died recently, and they think their parents have been turned into zombies and sent to the other dimension. So now Jody wants to go back to the mortuary. Wait a minute, the mortuary disappeared, didn't it? Wait a minute. There's a big plot point right there that needs to be cleared up. He says, I got to go check and make sure that mom and dad's, they're buried. They're not zombies going somewhere else. I guess it didn't go into the other portal. So he's like, I'm going back. Or did that happen earlier and I just missed it? Maybe. No. Okay. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think. Oh, no. I remember what it was. Yes, I did miss it. It did happen earlier. Back when they found the door. Anyway.
Right.
Again, this movie is so crazy. It jumps back and forth. Anyway. No. Here is something crazy. Okay. He goes, yeah, that old well. He just brings up this old town well. And I guess their parents were killed there or something. I don't know. He goes, go straight down. We're going to send that tall man right to hell. We're going to send him down the old well. So, okay. So he goes and he says, you stay here where it's safe. Lock up. And Jody goes to the old well to set up a trap for the old man, the tall man. And the tall man is right there. He jumps into the house. He goes in the house to get Mike again. But as I told you, and there he is, he's around, he's coming in after. The problem is he takes too long to make an entrance. That's how this kid, it goes off like the Flash, takes off.
Yep, and
he
there
runs
he goes.
the hell out of there. Which, yeah, there you go. Run. You see something scary, run. Especially when it just won't die. It keeps coming back. You were in a car crash. You were a chick in a lavender dress. You kill people. So he says, boy, you played a good game, but now it's over. And he chases after him again through the woods, and miraculously, the kid ends up at the well that Jody had to drive to. He takes the tall man right across the trap. The tall man falls into the well, just like clockwork. And again, if that wasn't crazy enough and silly enough for you, there he is. He's trying to grab on to Mike to take him down to hell with him. Oi! And here's the crazy part. An avalanche of boulders happens for no apparent reason. So that when the man falls into the well, the boulders go on top of the well, closing up the well very conveniently. And again, all these boulders, where did they come from? And it was Jody. Somehow Jody rolled all those boulders. There was like a couple of dozen of them. He rolled all those boulders down the hill. Hey, it's me. I did it. Yeah. We got the tall man. Okay.
Yeah.
So, weird. And that's when Mike wakes up. So all this weird garbage that we've seen for the last hour and 25 minutes, it was all a dream. And you were there, and you were there, and you were there, Reggie.
You got stabbed and you almost got laid. We don't know.
Kid, you're just going to have to get over the fact that we lost Jody. What? He's saying that Jody died recently, like a couple of months ago, and the kid's got to get over it. And they're going to go off on some adventure together. Reggie and Mike, he's going to take care of him. So we got a whole different ending. It was all a dream. Jody's dead. See, he's been buried. 1978. The year before this movie came out. So, again, you're just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. What the hell is real and what isn't anymore in this film? And, Reggie's playing guitar. That's what he does. Hey, kid, go get your stuff upstairs, man. We're going to go on an adventure together. You and me. Just you and me. And he goes upstairs to his room, and he picks up a picture of Jody, and he's reminiscing. And we saw this in the opening credits. Boy! He closes the door where there's a mirror on the door, and we see the tall man. And the tall man says, boy! And the kid is pulled through the mirror by one of those zombie Jawa guys.
Yep.
And that's him actually saying the word boy. Got 3 shots of him. Boy. So now, from what I'm told, Angus Scrimm is a very nice guy, or he was. He's passed on, but he was a very nice guy. He was very nice to his fans. He did a lot of comic book conventions and stuff, and he was just a really cool, nice guy, and loved to poke fun at himself. He's in a movie called Transylvania Twist, making fun of his character, of the tall man in that. So he's a Canadian actor. So there's where the kid gets pulled through. And that's how this mess of a movie ends. Let me get credits, the ending credits with the people that were in the movie. Jody, Mike, Reggie. I think the other 2 guys are still alive. The 3 guys, I should say. I think Reggie Minister's still alive.
They did
comics conventions and stuff.
Yep.
So that's it. Phantasm.
Yep.
One of the weirdest training films ever made. What's real? What isn't real? What the hell? Flippity flop.
What the flippity flop? Yeah, I figured the final the Jawa there it's probably Jody.
It could be. Could very well be.
But
and he comes back in like part 3 or part 4. I can't remember which one it was. But they're all back together again in that one. And I think it's the last one, Ravager. They all come back. Yeah. And that one's even that was pretty messed up too. Even weirder than this one.
Yeah.
So that is the training film known as Phantasm. And no blood in that mortuary. There's no blood anywhere in that mortuary.
So the lesson here, boys and girls, is if you chop off a tall man's fingers and it grows into a killer fly, all you got to do is just shove it down a disposal, and that'll take care of it. What
about a can of Raid?
I mean, or giant can of Raid, big bug spray. That'll take care of that. Now, giant.
Nobody thought to do that. Now let's risk cutting our hands up by shoving this thing down, in your jacket. By the way, that Mom bought you for Christmas. Let's shove it down the disposal. Hi guys, what you doing? Why don't you use bug spray?
Yeah. That would have been a great scene if he had actually done that. Hey, why aren't you trying to kill a bug? It's just when we tried that, it wouldn't die.
I don't know why he swallowed a fly. Perhaps he'll die. So, okay. Hazzard, do you have anything to say on there? I see you coming up here, so that usually means you got something to say.
No, I can't. I don't know what I could possibly add other than, I'm trying to get the cadets to, if they were to see like one of these Jawa things, what they should be doing. If they see a tall man, what they should be doing. It's a very confusing circumstance, if you come across something like this. What is what do you guys think? What is your direction for our cadets if they come across tall man or Jawas? What do you do?
Well, they didn't use a flamethrower, which is my preferred,
Well, what if they didn't have
method.
a flamethrower because you're common cadet, just going out to the store, doing errands, you come into a tall man. What do you do?
Can of
Well,
raid
first
and a
off, make
lighter.
sure you're awake and you're not dreaming.
Can of raid and duct tape will get you very far in most things in life, I've noticed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you got a friend that has an ice cream truck, well, there you go. Just shove it in the back there.
Then you're good to go. Yeah.
The
tall man, I don't know what flavor the tall man prefers. I can't really tell. I think he's a vanilla.
I would think you would use a bomb pop.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my personal favorite,
You can't
red,
beat
white, and blue bomb pop.
Yeah, you can't beat that one. I love that. Or a fudgesicle. I do like fudgesicle. I'm really into the fudgesicle.
Mm.
Yeah.
You like fudgicles?
Fudgesicle,
Yeah, fudgicles.
Once you go fudgesicle, you don't go back typically.
Does Roland know about this? And you're flirting with Havoc. What is going on with you?
Let's just move along. Let's move along. I'm all business. You know that, General. Don't try to make it smutty. It's not smutty. I'm trying to teach the cadets here. We're trying to get a takeaway from the session. It has nothing.
I'm just curious. Roland is a friend of ours. I'm curious. Not that I would say anything.
Let's just say that everything's fine. Everything's all right. I've been spending some nights in the lab, working some late nights, but it's none of your business, General. It's all right. Let's just move along.
Are you saying that Roland is helping you with your experiments?
Well, let's just say that I've been on assignment for a really long time, and sometimes if you're spending too much time in the lab, but
oh God, she's made it with a Bigfoot. I know it. I just know she's out in the field. She's made it with a Bigfoot or a Yeti, which is worse.
Sergeant, I'll talk to you off air about it. We'll talk. Yeah, I do need to. That's a good question. Thank you, General, because Sergeant, I wanted to talk to you about some of your Yeti excursions. Maybe we could do a Zoom call, in the middle of the night when I'm alone in the lab, just to, you could maybe give me some advice.
I can tell you all about the Yeti, and squash, because there's no loving like squash loving. Let me tell you.
To figuring that out.
Maybe I've said too much.
We'll figure it out together.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Thank you. You see, General, we work 24/7. We work 24/7. We, the big monsters are so many. We cannot.
Monsters don't sleep.
So we can't sleep either. That's right.
As long as you're happy, Hazzard, that's all that I care about.
Thank you. Yep. That means a lot to me. Thank you, General.
Yep, me too.
I salute you. I'm saluting you. You can't see me, but I'm saluting you.
And Havoc says that too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Havoc. I think Havoc's going to have a lot to do with my future happiness. Thank you. For telling me about the Bigfoot in the set. Don't always take it there.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Right.
Don't always take it there. I'm in a bind right now. I'm trying to figure out some Yeti excursions on my own.
She likes big furry guys.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, and we can talk about semen, later.
Yeah.
What brought that on?
I'm talking about sailors.
Because we was watching.
Because sometimes we use submarines to,
Yes. We was watching the sub show from yesterday. If anyone missed it, it was fantastic.
Two guys
it
talk about movies.
Rory Penland. There's a nice girl on there, Renee. They were beautiful. They're a beautiful trio. It was a threesome, and they were talking about semen, and it was a
groovy,
beautiful show. Everyone should go there and check it out. It was gorgeous.
That's right.
Submarine movie, semen. Okay, got it.
It was just like
I'll have to look it up and watch it.
I mean, that's how you look for Nessie,
That's how you look for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know,
You just go to the YouTube there, you subscribe to Cosmos Creative TV and look for two guys and a girls talking movies. You're going to love it. It's amazing. It's like butter. The Manny is just this gorgeous. He's this handsome, he's just absolutely amazing. But I digress anyways. He's wonderful. And there's a Rory guy there too. He's great, right, General? But General doesn't. General.
There's a Rory guy there too. He's great.
Because General, you always get so jealous of Rory Penland. You're always so jealous of his talent. So I didn't want to rub it.
Jealous of Rory Penland?
I didn't want to rub it in. He's even leaving now. Anytime I mention Rory, he just jets out. He's like Jaguar.
What the hell happened?
Well, you got jealous, General. And
no. I said, why would I be jealous of Rory Penland? He's got his thing. I got my thing.
Yeah, but you're trying to steal his impressions. You're very jealous of his
impressions because I find them amusing, and I can do some. I can't do as many as he can, but I can do some.
Well, you're getting all riled. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
I don't want you to think that I have anything against Rory Penland. He's a fine performer.
He is.
He's a friend. Handsome. He's a friend of ours.
He's very handsome.
Watches the show. Maybe we'll have him on the show one time.
I think we should have him on, if you're not going to get mad at him and get all.
We're looking for a vampire expert, I think. I gotta see if I can track down Barbie Van Helsing.
Yes,
and talk to her and see. Hopefully, nothing has happened to her. I haven't heard from her in a long time, so I hope nothing has happened to her. Because we would like to do vampire movies again on this show, training films.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, there you go.
So thank you for watching this episode of this special episode, this extra episode of the Big Monster Review. Excuse me, a little peach tea there.
A little peach tea.
Making a peach tea
that kind of snuck up on me.
There you go.
And on Thursday, we'll do another one with the abominable Dr. Fives. Vincent Price plays in that.
We love Vincent Price.
Yeah.
He's the VP of my heart.
With a cameo by Terry Thomas.
Amazing.
So yeah, and it's I believe Jake Allen is going to be our guest on that show.
I love Jake Allen.
Papa SDF.
Papa SDF. I love him.
He was on here for the Reanimator, and we had a really good time.
So good.
So yeah, we're gonna do that one on Thursday.
So keep an eye out for those big monsters, right?
So season 4 is winding down. Yep, we're going to be starting season 5 soon. And keep an eye out. Until then, keep an eye out for those big monsters.